What are the top gifts that you have? You know that you have unique gifts. Don't deny yourself of the gifts that you have that no one else has. There's 2 or 3 things that are unique to you that I don't have, that your neighbor doesn't have, that your colleagues and comrades don't have as well. Put them down, write them down out loud right now. What are your gifts? Shout them out. Let me hear you all the way over here in San Diego. I know you're in a different country. Don't worry. Shout it out. Maybe I'll hear you. What are your top gifts? And I want you to double down on your gifts. Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. Wait, it's not another episode. It's Labor Day. Labor Day. Yes, as a matter of fact, folks, today I have a very special message from Coach Wolf in just a few minutes. But today is also episode 212. Yep, 212. Y'all know what 212 is, right? Yes. 212 is a special number. It's my second favorite number behind number 10. 212 is what? Well, at 211 degrees, water is very warm. Very warm, very hot. But it ain't boiling because at 212, water boils. And with water boiling comes steam. And steam can power a locomotive. Yep, a locomotive, a train. Now think about that. 1 extra degree. There's a book about this called 212, The Extra Degree of Effort. My friends, today on Labor Day, I want you to think about the extra degree of effort on this week, on today, Labor Day, and what we're going to do here today. Matter of fact, in just a moment, I will talk about labor and the power and value of hard work and labor on this very special holiday. But before I do so, let's go back just about 32 years ago. Circa 1988, a football field in Brick, New Jersey. And Coach Wolf just blew his whistle and had a very special message. Let's go there right now. Everybody up, everybody up. Boys, today is Labor Day. Yeah, it ain't a holiday, it's Labor Day. And guess what we're gonna do today? Because it's Labor Day, y'all been talking about y'all want to win a championship. You've been wanting to work hard so you can get some hardware so you could be all conference or all shore. Well, today, on this very special day of Labor Day, guess what we're gonna do? Today, we're gonna labor. Labor, labor, labor. That's right, we're gonna labor. It ain't a holiday. We're gonna step it up today on today, this Labor Day, 1988. We're gonna get a championship today, and we're gonna work our tails off because no one else is working like us today because it's Labor Day. You, Durkin, you've been talking about winning a championship. Well, today, we're gonna work your tail off. You're gonna labor like you've never been labored before. You're gonna work so hard that you're gonna want to have a little labor-free day. That's right, today is Labor Day, and that's what we're gonna do. Now let's get to work. It's time to labor, labor, labor. Yes, folks, I still feel like that was yesterday. Honestly, it was about 32 years ago, 1988, when Coach Wolf blew that whistle. And we came running into that huddle so fired up after warming up, thinking that we were going to get out of practice. Yeah, it's a holiday. It's Labor Day. It was about 95 degrees. It was hot. And Coach Wolf's got his little brim hat on, got his whistle on, his high top black cleats, his little shorts and white t-shirt, says Brick Green Dragons on it. And he says that exact speech. It's imprinted in my memory till the day I die. And guess what? Today on the football field with my beloved Falcons out here in San Diego, I'll give that same exact speech about Labor Day because today I want to talk exactly about that. I want to talk about labor. I was listening to Brian Buffini, his podcast recently, love his podcast. And about a month or two ago, he talked about hard work. And today, the work ethic that's needed in today's time. And it made me think on this Labor Day, 3 thoughts that I have on the value of hard work, and something take me back all the way to high school when I was just 18 years old and learning the value of hard work and why it's important that today, more than any other time in our world's history why we need to value hard work. 3 points, 3 thoughts today. Now listen up on this. Labor Day. Matter of fact, can you all say labor? You gotta labor all the way on out. Point number 1. Have you ever had a job where you felt lost or it wasn't what you wanted? Now be honest with me. Have you ever had a job where you felt lost or you weren't doing what you wanted? I gotta be honest with you. I actually did for a day. I did. In college, one of my friends convinced me to become a bouncer with him. A bouncer. So here I am. I show up to work one day at this great restaurant bar that the boats would pull up to the dock. They'd come out and they'd get drinks and food. And the day I showed up, my buddy didn't show up that he was supposed to work with me. And that day, we had boats pulling up with a bunch of drunk people, and they were urinating off the side of the boat. I said, this job is not for me. I'm going to take the $8 an hour and I'm going to find another way to make a living when I was in college. So I became a lifeguard, which was much better suited for what I wanted to do. But y'all are laughing right now. I can see you. But have you ever been in a job or maybe even a career that doesn't fit your gifts, your talents, or what you believe maybe your purpose might even be? Maybe you have felt empty or you felt lost. Well, I've never been there where I've been in the wrong career or empty or lost. I can tell you this, even when I've been in jobs or roles that I've been using my gifts or talents, there have been times when I wasn't sure what my purpose was. Have you ever been there? Maybe you're there now. And I don't care if you're 25, you're 55, you're 75. I believe that all of us are always searching. How do we take our unique talents and gifts and best use them to impact, pardon the pun, to impact those who we influence? It takes me back to late 1996. I had just left Malibu, California. I was living in Sting's beach house. Yeah, the singer Sting, not the wrestler Sting. I was working for Michael King, who at the time King World produced Oprah Winfrey, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. Tom Hanks is one neighbor. Rob Reiner's another neighbor. And I left Malibu to go back to grad school. Now, here I am. I'm making good money, Malibu, California. I'm 25 years old, and I leave that life to go back to be a grad student. I was at San Diego State. And folks, I had 5 jobs. Has anyone ever been there in their life? Maybe you're there now, you're hustling. I had 5 jobs. Now check this out. These are the jobs I had while in grad school. All at the same time, by the way. Number 1, I was teaching weight training and racquetball. You're like, I didn't know you knew racquetball. I didn't know racquetball. I figured it out. I read a book on how to play racquetball. I was pretty good because in college, undergrad, I played a little racquetball because it was fun, and I was teaching weight training. So I was teaching as a graduate teaching assistant. That was job number 1. Number 2, I was getting my ATC hours, athletic training, different than personal training. ATC, an athletic trainer, and ATC are those who are part of a team or a university or college, and not only you're taping ankles and rehabbing injuries, but you're also trying to prevent them through exercise as well. And I was working toward my ATC hours. You needed, I believe, 1,500 hours at the time of volunteer, not paid hours. That was 1997 and 1998 at the University of San Diego under Carolyn Greer, where I was getting all of my hours on that. And that was 20 hours a week. So I was a student. I was teaching racquetball weight training. I was doing another 20 hours of ATC. And oh, by the way, my third job was as a massage therapist. 1994, I went to massage therapy school. I love massage school. My sister Patty had said, hey, in one of your off seasons, go to massage therapy school. So folks, while in grad school, I would literally flip up my mattress in my bedroom, put out my massage therapy table, and I was working doing sports massage, neuromuscular therapy, and the latest hands-on work that I had just learned called Zen body therapy that my mentor Dub Lee taught me, which combined Rolfing, structural integration, and energy work. And guess what? That was my highest paying job, $75 an hour. Folks, this is the late 90s. That's a lot of money now, but $75 an hour, literally in my bedroom, flipping up my mattress. So I didn't even have a box spring. Flip up my mattress, put out the massage therapy table. Stop laughing out there. This is how I started, folks. It wasn't very illustrious back then. And this is where I met Wayne Cotton, who eventually became my mentor. This is where I worked on Lynn McAllister and Nadine Magruder and Gerald Magruder. These were the people who were my very, very first clients when I got to San Diego, who I still remember because, folks, do the math. If you have $75 an hour times 4 or 5 sessions on a Saturday and Sunday, that's making some good money when you're in school. Oh, by the way, that was my third job. My fourth job is I was training at the Hilton Beach and Tennis Resort. Oh yeah, it sounds really good. It was a 600 square foot closet with a with some machines in there. And this is where I would do the stud club. This is where Ken Sawyer and Hank Zapisic, Bill Osborne, we'd come together Wednesday morning, 6:30. Yeah, I was in grad school. I had to get up, 5:45 to get to the gym to train the stud club. They were like the Legends Club. They were all in their 40s and 50s. I thought that was old at the time. No, they were in pretty good shape. And we had fun for years in the stud club. And let me tell you what, that's where I launched my training career, was at the Hilton Beach and Tennis Resort under the auspices of Donovan Henson, who gave me my first opportunity to start working there, and Valerie Ziegenfuss, who I was training her daughter, Allison Bradshaw, who was my first pro athlete I ever worked with because she was a pro tennis player. Stepping back in time on Labor Day to reflect the labor. We all start somewhere. Oh, there's another job? That's right. The fifth job I had during, all at the same time, by the way. It was like 80 hours a week. I got a job as adjunct faculty at Cuyamaca College. I was teaching pedagogy of elementary and middle school and high school physical education. What is teaching pedagogy? It's teaching future teachers how to teach PE. Folks, I loved it. I loved it so much that on Saturdays from 8 to 12, I would teach this class at Cuyamaca College to community college. And I was like, I could possibly do this as a living. I loved being a professor. I loved being on the faculty at Cuyamaca College. As a matter of fact, those 5 jobs averaged between 80 to 90 hours a week for the better part of 2 years. Why do I share that with you? Well, because I didn't even know then what I wanted to do. Fitness Quest 10 didn't exist then. Maybe I'd be a strength coach at a college. Maybe I'd be a professor. Maybe I'd be a trainer. Maybe I'd go back into chiropractic school. But I felt like I was on the right path. I didn't know my exact career path. And folks, at that point, I was 27, 28, 29 years old. All my friends were making good money back on Wall Street. And here I was just trying to figure my way out. But I loved it. Where are you at now? When you reflect on your career path, and whether you're in your 20s or you're in your 50s, you think about where you started. Have you ever looked back and said, you know what? Those are some of my best times. I was working 70, 80, 90 hours a week. I didn't have dates on Saturday nights because I was working the girls softball game at the University of San Diego, or shooting water and taping ankles for the University of San Diego football team, which now my son, interesting enough, will be playing against the next 4 years. But you think about that. The value of hard work. Have you ever had a job where you felt lost or it wasn't what you wanted? I knew I didn't want to be an ATC when I was doing the job. Sometimes you have to do a job to realize that's not the job that you want. And I got great experience under Carolyn Greer working and doing PNF stretching and taping ankles. Let me tell you what, I used to compete against other trainers of who could tape the ankles the fastest and be perfect with the ankles. Everything's got to be a competition, right? Well, even taping ankles and rehabbing the athletes, you want to do the best that you can on that. But you're in the right ballpark. The value of hard work and understanding the process of what it takes. You got to work your tail off. Number 2, my second thought on the value of hard work. Have you thought about this? What if COVID has thrown you off course and you are pivoting in your work, but you're not quite sure where you're going? Is that anybody out there today on Labor Day? We talk about labor. It's a holiday. Are you thrown off course? Has COVID thrown you a curveball? Maybe it's been a blessing for many of you, but perhaps it's been a curse and you've been thrown off course. Your energy, your career, your path, your purpose, and you're trying to discover. Hey, guess what? Welcome to the club. You know, many changes have been made in 2020 and even 2021. Guess what? In the end of 2020, I'm like, when we get through this COVID here in 2020, 2021, I'm going to hit the platform and I'm going to be on the road 50 times speaking, and what's going to be awesome. Guess what? It didn't go as planned, folks. I haven't been able to travel like many of you doing all the live speaking events that I had planned to do. Here we are approaching late 2021 now, and there's a COVID uptick. Who would have thought about this a month ago? The light at the end of the tunnel was like, man, we're finally through this. And here comes COVID again, rearing its ugly head. But guess what? Just like 32 years ago when Coach Wolf said, if you want to be a champion, you got to persist. You got to make sure you get through the hard times. You got to outwork everyone. You got to keep going. Well, these days, what I've found is you got to be adaptable. You got to be nimble. You got to be nimble on your feet. You got to be able to move left and right. You got to be nimble and adaptable in today's day, today's economic climate. You got to be mission driven. Listen, the mission to change lives. Change lives, saves lives, create impact. That's what keeps me going, because have you ever thought about, man, I don't know what's happening next month, let alone next year, let alone in 3 or 5 years. And I'm the king of planning out 10 years down the line, 5 years. You heard me talk about my annual roadmap and strategic plan, how for dozens of years I've talked about this. And I still love it because that's dreaming big. And we got to dream big. But now more than ever, you got to be so mission driven with this message. All that matters right now for me is this recording of this podcast, because I don't know what's happening in episode 213. I don't know what's going to happen there. I just care about right now in 212 Labor Day episode, as you walk right now on Labor Day or this week, that you are mission driven. What's your mission? What do you stand for? Whatever the adversity is, what do you stand for? Which brings me to the short-term focus with long-term vision. Short-term meaning, like, what are your priorities today, this week? What are you doing that's going to move the needle this week of Labor Day? Repeat it to me again. I want to hear you. Labor Day. What are you doing? This month here in September, it's going to fly by. For me, Labor Day, I just can't say labor. Labor Day. It demarks the beginning of the fourth quarter. Meaning we dominate the fourth quarter. Not October 1st. I just told my mastermind group today, like, it starts the fourth quarter today. Let's not wait till October 1st, October, November, December. Let's start on Labor Day to make sure that right now, the next 90 plus days, that we absolutely dominate these next few months. Also, I want you to focus on projects that get the juices flowing, that give you energy, that have the potential to be some game changers. I believe when you sink your teeth into projects and work with people that give you some energy, all of a sudden those juices are flowing really, really good. And lastly, when it comes to working today on this, and this second point I'm making is, have you ever thought about that you lead a little differently today than maybe in the past? I'm talking leadership. Yeah, a leader of one, a leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. Lead, follower, get out of the way. All the favorite leadership quotes I have. Well, for many of you, especially if you're in the fitness field, you're in the coaching field, you're an influencer, we've got this hybrid model in full effect. You know, people are afraid to come to the office. I've been doing a lot of speaking virtually, primarily this year in 2021. And one of the common themes I'm hearing is there's this this fear of coming back to the office. What I found as a leader, especially now more than ever, leaders have to listen better than ever before. How can you listen to your people? How can you be tapped into the spirit of your person? Because people want to be heard today. So leaders need to listen. We've got to balance out the mission and what we want to accomplish. Like, hey, we need to get this project done by Friday. And then someone's got a personal challenge that comes up, and you're trying to lead from the heart, right? Heart-centered leader. We're leading from the heart, but you also need to head saying, we got this project that we've got to accomplish because we've got to fulfill our obligations, responsibilities, and mission of the company. So where do you stand? Can anyone feel me on this? Well, today, when we listen and we lead people, we must listen and lead from our heart as much as our head, more than ever before. And I've always talked about leading from your heart, but now more than ever before. Also, leadership demands empathy, compassion, and care more than ever before. How can you show the empathy that's needed in today's very disruptive economic climate? It's turmoil out there. There's good days, there's bad days. Remember, leaders, which is everyone listening to this right now, all you fire-breathing dragons, all you mind-right maniacs, you are a leader, regardless of your role. Forget your title. Leadership is not about a title these days. Leadership is about your influence, the ability to influence people the way they think, the way they act, their behaviors, their emotions. It's really important these days to understand your mission, to understand the expectations. Have you communicated your expectations, and have you consistently provided the feedback that's necessary? Coming from a heart-centered place. And leaders, I hate to say it, but we need to be more flexible than ever before. Because if you've been leading for many years, sometimes we get so hardened about the mission. And if you're certainly just leading from the point of a P&L statement, you're going to get swallowed up and frustrated more than ever before. We've got to lead from our heart. And I want to share that because here's what's important. People want to feel valued. People want to feel acknowledged. Everyone does. You do, I do. Everyone wants to feel acknowledged from the hard work. When I look at leadership now, regardless of the industry, regardless of the career, it's important that our leadership goes up. And that style may need to be adapted by the leader, AKA you. How can you change? Not how can they change? How can we change? How can you change to be a better leader and still get the end result that we all desire? The last point, number 3, the last point I want to talk about when it comes to work ethic and labor, what's it going to take? And I'm going to go to your Q&A. I've got a couple Q&A. Is the worst thing one can do right now is sit around and do nothing. Do you know how tiring it is to do nothing? It's actually fatiguing to do nothing. I've been there. Like, what am I doing? I'm scratching my head. Like, what do I do next? It's absolutely tiring. Can anyone feel me on that? Like, you don't know what to do, so you do nothing? Don't do nothing. It's tiring to do nothing. What if you don't know what to do? Then do something. Do something, because that's going to get you some momentum. And you don't want to just do something to do something. So let me give you a couple points that can help you do something in the right direction that's aligned with your core values, your mission, your purpose, and what makes you you. So let me ask you a few questions. If you're taking notes or you want to think about this, and even in your phone right now as you're on the elliptical or you're working out, think about this. What are the 5 things you love to do? What are the 5 things you love to do? Now, I've asked this in my retreats and seminars and events before, but I want you to think about what are the 5 things you love to do today? Because guess what? It may be different than 2 years ago, what you absolutely love doing. One of the things I love doing, I didn't love doing 2 years ago because I didn't even do it. Podcasting. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary here, August 19th, just a few weeks ago, August 19th. One of the things I love to do these days, it is podcasting. I love speaking. I love writing. Writing moves my soul. I love coaching in my mastermind group for Fit Pros. I love training people. I still train some of the athletes, even the ones who are retired. I'm still training them. I love family time. What are the things that you love to do? Write it down and do more of the things that you love to do. I want to do more podcasting. I want to produce more great content for all of you who are consuming this, sharing it with the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Point number 2, question number 2 on this. What are your top gifts? What are the top gifts that you have? You know that you have unique gifts. Don't deny yourself of the gifts that you have that no one else has. There's 2 or 3 things that are unique to you that I don't have, that your neighbor doesn't have, that your colleagues and comrades don't have as well. Put them down, write them down out loud right now. What are your gifts? Shout them out. Let me hear you all the way over here in San Diego. I know you're in a different country. Don't worry. Shout it out. Maybe I'll hear you. What are your top gifts? And I want you to double down on your gifts. What are your gifts? What do you think my gifts are? Number 1, I would say positive energy. I'm the eternal optimist. I always find the good. Even when it's bad, I try to find the good in everything. Wisdom. I've been around the block a while now, so one of the things I love doing is hot seating when I'm with my mastermind group or a live event and masterminding and hot seating people because of the wisdom. I've seen a lot of things, more than I probably care to have seen. That's a gift. And mindset. Mindset is a gift. People always say, are you always like this? No, I'm not always like this, but I tend to be optimistic and positive and energetic. So mindset. And when things are against me, my mindset allows me to get through it. I know, and I've shared this with y'all before. We're all going to be facing more adversity in the upcoming months and years ahead. Mindset will get us through it. That's a gift. If you don't have those gifts, hang out with people that have the gifts that you desire. But don't forget, I want you to share with the world your gifts. The third point of that, about doing something. Identify the major points of your customers. What are the major pain points? Identify the major pain points of your customers, of your clients, and your members. What are the pain points? What are they? Think about that. When I think about some of the pain points, even here at Fitness Quest 10, or for those I coach, maybe it's struggling with health. Maybe someone's frustrated or they're feeling more anxiety or depression than they've ever felt before. Perhaps they're feeling lost. Maybe there's parents out there who are struggling with how their kids fit into this, quote, new world that we're in. Well, I know this. Trainers, coaches, and business owners are struggling to figure out the new space of the fitness industry and how they can best fit into, create the impact they want. When you identify the major pain points of the people you work with in your industry, and you could have a solution to those pain points, that's my fourth point. What are the solutions to these pain points? What are they? I know if we can help with accountability and we can have more higher touch points with our people. For me, I want to have more faith-based programs in my community because I think faith is one way to get through and to battle through the adversity that we're facing. I mean, some of my programs that I'm doing are already addressing these pain points. My podcast, guys, I share with you authentically every single week about the good, the bad, the adversity. Why? Because I want to challenge you to live your best life, whatever that takes. If you have pain going on, if you have frustration, anxiety, guess what? That's real talk. Those are things that I face, that my clients face, we all face, but we got to battle through it today. If you're listening to that, we battle through that. So on this podcast is one way I do that. Through my mastermind program and holding the fit pros that I coach and train accountable on what they can do to be the best versions of themselves professionally and personally. The mastermind program is designed to do that, where I can hold them accountable and I can lead them and coach them and share, almost like they're franchisees, but they're not franchisees, where I can share the wisdom that I have and I'm going through with them. In the books that I've written, if you've read Get Your Mind Right or the Wow book or my first book, The Impact Body Plan, books are just ways that you can take an author and for $20 or so, you can get a brain dump of all of the wisdom they've been through. That's why I always try to consume at least one book a month. Folks, consume books, whether it be audio books, whether they be you actually read books. This is a good thing. What are you doing to be the solution to the pain points of your customers? Whatever that may be, health, fitness, medicine, whatever your role is, whatever career you're in. I know even for me, I just had yesterday a big speaking engagement, 300 people. I'm looking at a camera virtually. I'm thinking, man, who am I going to impact through that camera, through that lens? Who's hurting out there right now that's watching this and is depressed? Who's listening to this right now and is feeling the pain, the anguish, the anxiety that is true to this world, wherever you live? That's real talk. And I'm going to inspire someone to get the butt up off the couch and to start eating better, start moving their body. They get the endorphins right. They get their mind right. And all of a sudden they start feeling it again. They start feeling like themselves again and say, hallelujah, I got me back. That's what we got to battle for now. We're in a darn battle. We're in a darn fight. I talk about all the time, remembering who the heck you are. This is the fight we're in. This is why I do what I do. What I want to know is, what do you do and why do you do it? We've got to remember the why. Why are we fighting? Because if you hit me back and say, hey, TD, that Labor Day episode hit me right between the teeth. It hit me right in the heart. That Labor Day episode, It spoke to me. Why I get up and why I got to work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 90 hours a week. Why I got to have 5 jobs or 2 jobs or 3 jobs. Why I got to work a graveyard shift to put food on the table for my young kids right now. This is why we fight for what we fight. This is why we have these Labor Day episodes, because it's a holiday. It ain't a holiday. It's called life. 365 days, 24/7, we show up. Man, I'm spitting fire all over my microphone right now. I'm a little fired up on Labor Day. Coach Wolf, can you hear me right now? Goodness gracious. Sorry, team. We got to clean up my beautiful microphone here as I got spit all over it. Man, which is my last point of number 3. I got 5 points, number 3. Let me ask you this. What would make you happy? What would make you most happy these days? Or maybe it's fulfilled. Tony Robbins once talked about it's not how much success that you get in life. It's about fulfillment. What you're doing today doesn't matter. And if it doesn't at the level you want, how can you find more fulfillment? How can you do more of what you want to do? How do you get your bucket filled up? Because what I want to encourage you to do today is to declare, what are you going to do more of that's going to matter more of in the world? Let me ask you a question. If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? Let me repeat that. If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? The follow-up question is, how can you figure out how to do more of that? Because what's going to make your soul sing? What's going to make your spirit flow to the point of bringing you pure joy and happiness and harmony and fulfillment for your relationship in your life and for what you do? Because all of us need to work. We're talking labor. We're talking Labor Day. It's Labor Day. These are the things that we need to do. So if money was an issue, what would you do more of? Folks, I hope you enjoyed that Labor Day message. Those 3 points on what it takes to labor. That's why 3 points. Deep questions on this holiday for you to think about and labor. Let's remain in a state of gratitude that we can work, that we can make a difference, and that we can matter. You know, I always appreciate when you reach out to me with your questions. As a matter of fact, today I have 3 questions that came in via my Instagram, and I'm going to address those 3 questions rapidly right now on this Labor Day. First one on Instagram, Rebecca.Garrity-Pinto. Rebecca, thank you so much for your question. Here's the question she asked. Todd, you've just hit a parenting milestone with your oldest kid going to college. What, now she's going to try to make me cry, Rebecca, aren't you? What's the greatest lesson Luke has taught you in the last 18 years? Great question, Rebecca. What I would say is this. The greatest lesson Luke has taught me. Well, I've got 2 answers. I got two. First one, greatest lesson is sometimes you got to ease up on your own kids. Yeah, sometimes you got to ease up on them. Now, let me tell you this. Luke has always been, well, since 6th, 7th grade, very driven to do well in sports, specifically football. He set his mind to it that he wanted to go to college. He wanted to play Division I football, and he set his mind to it, and he worked his tail off. But last year, or 2 years ago, his junior year, I was coaching him, and there was a day when I was at practice. Yeah, we talk in practice. And on their little time when special teams was going, I had the quarterbacks off to the side working additional footwork, their drops, and some drills on scramble drills and some specific quarterback drills. And I could tell Luke wasn't really appreciating, while all his other friends were over in what we call country club, that Luke was doing a little extra work on his quarterback skills with the other quarterbacks. And Luke gave me some attitude. Now, he had never given me attitude before, but parents, if you've ever coached your kid, I told my kids that if I'm going to coach you, I'm going to be harder on you than I am the other kids, because I don't want to play favorites. I don't want to be easier on you than the other kids. I'm actually going to go the other way. And Luke gave me some attitude that day about that I'm too tough on him. As a matter of fact, it kind of lasted over 2 or 3 days where we had some rough patches and some deep discussions, and Luke was frustrated at me as his dad being too tough and rough on him. But I reminded him of this. Luke, you tell me you want to be a college quarterback. You don't know what it takes to be a college quarterback. I do, because I work with college and pro guys, and I actually was a college quarterback. In order to get to that level, you're going to have to go above and beyond. Well, I actually went to one of my mentors, one of my friends, and his name is Pastor David Jeremiah. And Dr. J, as I call him, I said, Dr. J, listen, I need some parental advice as a dad. I didn't find this in a book. Luke's a little frustrated with me right now. I was tough on him at practice the other day. And Dr. J says something to me I'll never forget. He says, Todd, what you got to do is this. I need you to double down on your affirmations to Luke and half any negative reinforcement. Double down on affirmation and half any negative reinforcement. I said, I don't really have negative reinforcement. I'm just tougher on him than maybe most. I want you to double down on your affirmation with your kids and don't give as much fault. Don't find the things they're not doing well, because you always find the one or two things and you harp on what the kid did. He didn't take enough shots. He missed too many shots. He missed this throw. He missed this shot. I thought about it for a half second. I said, you know what? Dr. J is absolutely right. And from that day on, I doubled down on my affirmation and I tried to ease up on Luke, and our relationship even got better because it was always good, but he had a little rough patch there, and I thought it was great. So that was the first great lesson he taught me about easing up a little bit and double down on affirmation. And the second lesson that he taught me, a great lesson, is if you want something bad enough, you got to obsess on it. Now, some people hear the word obsess and they think it's negative and they think it's bad. But I got to tell you what, during the pandemic, and I've shared this before on the podcast, maybe it's your first time listening in on the special Labor Day football edition. If you want something bad enough, you got to work your tail off. You got to commit. You got to sacrifice for it, because over the COVID pandemic, from March 2020 to July 2020, Luke obsessed on the recruitment process. While the world was shutting down, Luke was spending a lot of time reaching out to every college. I'm talking from Alabama all the way down to community colleges, developing relationships on Twitter and email, whatever it took, not knowing would there be a scholarship opportunity at the Division I level? Was he going to have a walk-on opportunity at a great academic institution at Division III, whatever it took? And to his credit, he showed me, he showed the family, and most importantly, he showed himself. If you want something bad enough and you're willing to work for it, he was working out every single day. He was showing these recruiters the videos of him sneaking on the parks and fields in the middle of the pandemic when parks and fields were closed down, and him finding a friend that he could throw with, whatever it takes. If you want something bad enough, you got to work for it. So that's a great lesson we can all take about that. Rebecca Garrity Pinto, thank you for your great question there on Luke's lessons he's taught me in the last 18 years. Question 2 of 3 from Tracy Taylor. Taylor 24. Circle the wagons. The Buffalo Bills are in the house. And Tracy asked the question here on Instagram. Follow her. Taylor 24. If you could record only one more episode of the Impact Show, who would it be with? And what would the topic be? Man, Tracy, you're getting me all sappy and emotional. Good God, if this could be the last episode, I'd be in tears right now. But instead, I'm talking about labor. God, why do I love saying labor? But if I could only have one more show, who would it be with? Honestly, my first reaction was it'd be with Pastor Jeremiah. 81 years old now, Pastor J. Dr. J. And he's a dear friend, a client, a mentor. I see him all the time. I guess I just got asked him to come on the show. And this is one busy man who just spits out books like they're essays and emails. But what would it be on? Honestly, it'd be about life and faith and the importance of having faith in the most difficult of times. Life and faith. You know, Dr. J, I call him Dr. J, Pastor Jeremiah, Dr. David Jeremiah. This man has so much wisdom. In the last 6 years that I've worked with him, trained him, speak at Christian Unified Schools, he has so much wisdom. And I look at him, I'm like, how at 81 can this man do what he does? Here I am at 50 thinking this guy is outworking me. Par for the course on Labor Day. He is outworking most other people half his age. Guys, he's a mentor. He's a friend. He inspires me. I want to be more like Dr. J. Not when I'm 80. Now. I want to be more like him now. He understands me. He gets me because he always said, Todd, you train people from the inside out. I didn't coin myself that. Dr. J is the one who said that. He trains me from the inside out. He trains me from the spirit and the soul side. You don't need to be preaching about God. Just keep walking the way you walk, because the way you walk is the way you talk. And that's something I'll always remember. So Todd Taylor, Tracy Taylor, 24, Pastor Jeremiah, life and faith. That would be my one episode that I'd most want here on the Impact Show. Last question, JSR_fitness7. My friend, thank you for asking. Good friend, I just spoke to the company he works for, Hank Ebeling's company, JSR_fitness7. Out of all the letters in Impact, which one is the hardest for you to apply? Folks, why y'all asking such great questions here on the Labor Day edition? Which of the letters in Impact is the hardest for you to apply? If this is your first episode of the Impact Show, I want you to go back to episodes 1 and 2, way back episodes 1 and 2, and listen to that, because you're going to hear what it stands for and stories behind it. But remember, Impact, live inspired. M, master your craft. Master your craft. P stands for what? Very good. I hear you shouting it all out. Play it world class. A, take action. Take action for what you want. C, condition for greatness, not mediocrity. We don't condition for mediocrity. That's not why we're here on the Impact Show. We condition for greatness. And T is tenacity. Be tenacious. The spirit, the fervor, the energy, the positivity, the optimism that we all need in today's dark days. What are we going to be more tenacious? And JSR_fitness7 asks, which of these is hardest for you to apply? Man, oh man, I guess if I was to think about that, because I think I strive to live by all of these acronyms. I mean, it's all over. I've got double impact. I got an impact band on my right wrist and my left wrist. People are like, double impact. I need it these days, my friends. I got my Get Your Mind Right band. I got my double impact. I'm snapping bands all over the place. I'm breaking bands. It's like, get your mind right, get your mind right, get your mind right. Honestly, I think if there was one I had to choose that is hardest for me to apply, it's the first one. Living inspired. Living inspired. And you're like, what, TD? What do you mean living inspired is the hardest one for you to live by? Well, you asked me which is the hardest for you to apply, because here's why. Because when you're in the middle of the battle, sometimes you don't stop long enough to reflect about, like, hey, I'm living my dream life. I'm living such, I'm living with such inspiration right now. Folks, I'm like you. I'm in the middle of the fight. I mean, I feel like I'm dodging bullets every day. I'm in the foxhole, and here's what we got to do to motivate and inspire people and create more impact every day. But I don't take the time on a regular basis that I should. We talk about mellow yellow time all the time. Every time I stop and get mellow yellow time, I go into inspired mode, and I always think to myself, man, I need more mellow yellow time. I need more time off. I need more time to get those big aha ideas. The master your craft, man, I love the toil. I love the hard work. To play a world class, that mindset to try to be at a world class level is something we do on all levels, I think, pretty well. The action, I'm not afraid of action. The condition for greatness is not always easy to condition for greatness, but whatever that means of body, mind, and soul, the tenacity, I would just say it's the everyday trying to live inspired. Well, how do you do that? As a reminder, more to myself than anybody else. The way you live inspired is you dial in your habits, your everyday habits of what you can do, from your eating to your moving to your nutritional to what you're watching and listening in your feed, what's feeding your mind, what's feeding your body, what's feeding your soul is going to help you live more inspired. So when you hear me earlier on in today's episode talk about, what are you dreaming of doing and what do you want more of life, don't forget to enjoy the actual process of the hard work, because it's in the hard work, it's in the toil that we find inspiration. It's in your words when you speak to me, when you DM me, when you message me, when you ask these questions to me. I find inspiration in that. Inspiration means in spirit. when it means walking in faith with the Lord and walking in faith with God. So for me, JSR_fitness7, thank you. Thank you for that question, because honestly, I had really never thought about that question, like which one is the hardest one to abide by? That right there is a great question. Thank you for your questions. Guys, I'm going to wrap up today's Labor Day episode so you can get back to laboring in the gym. If you're taking a little vacation, a little holiday today, I just want to say thank you. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Today's impersonation from Coach Wolf 32 years ago, back from the annals and the episodes there of Coach Wolf and Bobby Brick in the manhole of Brick, New Jersey, on the gridiron of Brick football about Labor Day. My thoughts on hard work and, of course, taking your Q&A. Guys, until next time, remember, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and always enjoy. Labor, labor, labor. Hey folks, remember what I just said. Labor Day depicts the start of Q4. It's time now to finish this year strong. The kids are back in school. We get our routines and our rhythms back even more now than ever before. Can I get an amen there? So what do you need to do to finish strong? What do you need to do to finish this year strong in the next few months? Do you need to up your health and fitness? Do you need to deal with an injury or some pain that you're having and that you want to get rid of? Do you need to sign up for a personal growth or professional development event or a course or a retreat or a program? Commit to doing something for yourself, personally and professionally. Now, if you happen to be a trainer, a coach, or fitness business owner, and you would like to go deep in strengthening your business, your relationship, your branding, and you want to connect with a group of entrepreneurs who will challenge you to be your best and give you some incredible ideas, if you need the support and accountability of world-class coaches, including yours truly, if you would like me to personally coach you, I want to invite you today to be part of my very special coaching program that I call the Todd Durkin Mastermind Institute. It's made up of the finest fitness pros, trainers, coaches, health and fitness experts, leaders, and business owners in the health, fitness, and sports training world. If you desire to be your best, if you want even more business success, if you want to grow and scale your business, even in this new hybrid model that you may be running, if you want to grow personally, you want guidance, coaching, and wisdom from a team of people, yes, including me, who've been there, done that, and are still doing it, today is your lucky day. Sign up for my Todd Durkin Mastermind Institute program. It's free for the rest of September. Yes, I said it's free for the rest of September. Normally, it's only $99, but this month, you'll get the rest of the month for free. You can experience it. Try it before you buy it. If you don't like it, then you get out after 3 weeks. But that alone, you'll get a nice taste of what we do inside the Mastermind Institute, and we'll cover all that we can to help you be the best that you can possibly be on all levels. Are you game? Are you ready today on this Labor Day to take action? Here's what you need to do. I'm going to have you email me, and in the subject line, put labor. You can spell it however you want. Put labor. I will personally follow up with you. Just email me, Durkin@fitnessquest10.com. Durkin@fitnessquest10.com. I'm going to concierge you, hold your hand all the way to the finish line to get you indoctrinated the next day to be part of my Mastermind Institute program. Folks, opportunity exists. Email me, Durkin@fitnessquest10.com. Tell me you want to be part of the Todd Durkin Mastermind Institute program. Tell me how I can best help you, and I promise you, you are going to be in the ride for your life. Let's buckle up. Let's get rock and rolling. And remember, the TD Mastermind Institute is where it's at. It's where your passion and your purpose meet to help you create maximum impact. Take action today. And don't forget, happy Labor Day.